Today we're going to be dealing with perimeter. And then I think by now you know what is the meaning of perimeter, because we've done it in grade 10, we've done it in grade 11. This is just a follow-up. Now to remind you guys, perimeter is the total distance around a shape or an object. It can be a shape of a 3 or 4 cornered object. Now, remember that the perimeter of a round shape is called the circumference. Now, what we need to know again is, if we calculate perimeter or circumference, we will end up with single units. In other words, at the end of our answer, I'm expecting you to have centimeters or millimeters or meters or kilometers. Now, what you need to know again is the formulas that are related to perimeter or circumference. Now, if you are to calculate a perimeter of a rectangle, it simply means that now you need to know that a perimeter of a rectangle is calculated as P equals to 2 into length plus breadth. That's the perimeter of a rectangular shape or a perimeter of a square. Now, if you are to calculate the perimeter of a circle, of which we said a perimeter of a circle is called circumference, it means you will use 2 formulas. In fact, you choose from these 2 formulas. Number 1 formula will be 2 times pi times r. You must remember, if I have 2 pi r, it simply means that in between I have multiplication. Between 2, I have a multiplication sign. Between 2 and a pi, I've got a multiplication sign. Between pi and a radius, I have a multiplication sign. Or if you do not want to use this formula, you can use now pi d. And then pi d, it's pi times diameter. And then it means we've got 2 formulas to choose from. It's 2 times pi times radius, or pi multiplied by diameter. You must remember, guys, up to so far, the value of a pi is 3,142. It is no longer 3,14. Remember that. And then if you are to calculate the perimeter of a triangle, it means you will use the formula that says side plus side plus side. We all know that a triangle has 3 sides. So if you are to calculate the perimeter of a triangle, it means you add up all these, the values for all these sides. Now, let's go straight now, guys, to our examples. This one says, calculate the perimeter of a rectangle with dimensions length equals to 55 meters and breadth equals to 1,2 centimeters. Already, guys, we've talked about the formulas. If you are to calculate a perimeter of a rectangular shape, you end up with this formula: 2 into length plus. Remember, guys, you forget you write times here. You're not supposed to be writing times. You write length plus breadth. That's the first thing that you need to know is your formula. Perimeter of a rectangular shape will be 2. It will be equals to 2 into length plus breadth. Now, in this case, our length, let's check our data. Our length is equals to 55 meters and our breadth is equals to 1,2 centimeters. Now, there is a problem. So, if we have the values that has different units, it simply means that now we need to convert one of these units to be, we either convert a centimeter to a meter or a meter to a centimeter before we can substitute into our formula. Now, I think I prefer to convert a meter to a centimeter. So we all know that when you convert a meter to a centimeter, we have here a kilometer, we have a meter, we have a centimeter, we have a millimeter. I think you still remember this one, guys. 1 0, 2 zeros, which is 100, 3 zeros, which is 1,000. Now we are converting a meter to a centimeter. This is a larger unit to a smaller unit. It means now we multiply. So between a meter and a centimeter, we have 100. It means now we need to multiply 55 by 100. Then when we multiply 55 by 100, it becomes, say, now we go straight to our formula. We drop down the 2, and then our length now is 55 times 100, which is 5,000. We do not need to consult the calculators for that, guys. Some things we don't need to consult calculators. It's 55 times 100, which is equals to 5,500. Plus our breadth, this is in centimeters, you must remember. This is in centimeters now because what we did, we multiplied 55 by 100, and then we ended up with 5,500 centimeters. So all our values now are in centimeters. I write down 5,500 plus, let me just write 1,2 and close the bracket. We all know that these are in centimeters. Now, what happens is, now we add. Even if I do not write the units in the process, we already said that perimeter is measured in single units. It simply means that at the end, I will end up with single unit. Now, let's add up now. 50, we start with the bracket. 5,500 plus 1,2. We end up with this amount, and we multiply this by 2, and then we end up with, now, the final answer is 11,002, you must remember these calculators, they give commas. This one, we do not regard it as a comma. The one that has a little tail, remember that, I told you, remember that we do not, please guys, we do not regard it as a comma. So we have 11,002, 4. 11,002, 4. Then according to instructions, you must remember that we round our answers to 2 decimal places, of which in this case, we can't round to 2 decimal places because our final answer has only one number after a comma. So our answer now, the final answer becomes 11,002, 4 centimeters. Remember, perimeter is measured in single units. Thank you very much, guys, for this one. Example number 2, it says, calculate now the perimeter of an equilateral triangle with one side equals to 13,3 centimeters. You must remember, an equilateral triangle is that triangle that has all the sides are equal. It means now our perimeter in this case will be, you must remember the perimeter of a triangle. We said it is side plus side plus side. This becomes now, we said, they say here with one side equals to 13,3 centimeters. We have now 13,3 centimeters plus 13,3 centimeters plus 13,3 centimeters. That becomes now, when you go straight to a calculator, you will have 13,3 plus 13,3 plus 13,3. That becomes 39,9. And you must remember, this was measured in centimeters. Our answer becomes centimeters. And also, we have the third example is, they say we must find the circumference. This is a perimeter of a round shape. We must find the circumference of half a pizza if the diameter is 23 millimeters. Right. Now we said the formula for perimeter of a round shape. We said it's circumference of a round shape will be equals to, we can use any formula, 2 times a value of a pi times radius. Now, we end up with 2 times value of a pi. We said it remains 3,142 multiplied by, now, you must remember they said we are given now the value. Guys, remember, you always forget this one. We are given the value of a diameter. Now, it means this one does not entertain diameter. It has radius. We need now to divide the diameter by 2 to get radius. So, if you divide 23 by 2, you end up with 11, please do not forget this one, 11,5. Now, this is the value of a radius. Now, what do you do now? You say 2 multiplied by 3,142 multiplied by 11,5, and that becomes 772,266. Now, what happens is we round all our answers to 2 decimal places. That becomes approximately equals to 72,27, and the unit is single unit. In this case, we have millimeters. Thank you very much, guys, for this.